Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just getting some eBay orders ready today. It is absolutely abysmal out today. It's raining, it's gloomy out, so I'm not going to be doing my walk today. So I'm going to do a quick video this morning and let you guys know how my eBay store is doing and how I think the eBay platform is going to evolve down the road. So stuff I sold over the weekend was some movies and some old vintage stuff. Nothing too fancy, guys. I think I sold some electric toothbrush ends and nothing fancy, nothing too expensive. My sales are way down this year from last year. I've definitely noticed a downtrend in what I'm selling in eBay. I'm definitely going to have to change it up this summer and be more selective with what I'm buying. That is for sure. And don't get me wrong, what I am selling is still selling, guys. But for me, I would rather it sell more and move a little quick. This is all stuff I picked up for free and over the weekend for next to nothing. I'm gonna get this listed. They're just some DVD box sets, movies. I listed a ton in the past week. I've probably listed a couple hundred items over the past week, which is an insane amount for me. I think I almost need a break from it. I think I'm burning out on it. I'm trying to get all this stuff done before the summer holidays because we have vacations and the kids will be here all day, every day in the summer. So just not gonna have a ton of spare time for the eBay stuff. Basically be on cruise control and I'll just send the orders out as they come in, and that's gonna be that. Okay guys, so that's the update for my eBay store. Most of us that sell on the platform and buy on the platform remember the golden age of eBay. That would have been, I'm gonna say, at least 10 years ago and back. Back then, I would say most of the site was centered around auctions and just getting rid of cheap junk. Obviously, there was a lot of professional resellers back then as well. Not as prevalent as it is today. During the infancy, that would have been the time to be a buyer on eBay. That's where you would get the deals, guys. It's a much different landscape today. eBay makes no bones about it. They are trying to compete with Amazon. If you go on eBay, you're going to see tons of cheap Chinese junk on there. You're going to see tons of new product. Big companies are trying to sell on eBay. I bought a pair of Adidas shoes on sale on eBay not too long ago. So all these Chinese products are flooding in. All these big companies are now on eBay. So it really has changed the DNA of the site. Probably has helped the shareholders of eBay, but the average person buying on there, the experience is not that great anymore, guys. And that's just the honest truth of it. If you're going to look for a deal on eBay, they're very far and few between. You're paying market, you're paying above market, add the shipping, and now that you have to pay sales tax on top of that and duties, it's just not that great of a platform. You really do get nickel and dimed whether you're a seller or a buyer. And if you're a seller, the fees are crazy high too. You don't have a lot of protections as a seller either. We'll get into that. It really does suck. But I'll pop up this little graph here. You can have a peek. And as you can see, I'm not going to scroll over all the numbers here. eBay's sales have basically flatlined since COVID. Now you can see there was a huge spike on the screen. This is obviously when COVID started. Everyone was at home. They had nothing else to do but buy shit, this is what made the video game market go crazy and all that sort of stuff. So it was wild. Then you can see through COVID how it kind of ticked along. eBay had some pretty decent growth there. And then right at the end of 2022, when it was slowing down with that stuff, they really had a big drop in sales. And if you look over this graph, you can see big drops leveling off, big drops leveling off. But I want you to check out from 2022 to the end of 2024 here, and you will see pretty much no growth on the site. This is alarming if you are a seller, but don't get me wrong, eBay still has a large market cap and you can sell and make money on here. But to me, with all the factors that are going on, I really have a feeling this trend is not going to change much, and I might actually start going down. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you why I think that is. eBay's trying to compete with Amazon. Many similar products on both platforms. The problem eBay has with Amazon is Amazon has free shipping. Now, yes, I will say Amazon's prices tend to be higher on a lot of things for video game wise. And there's some other products they are, but they also have some deals. And it's free shipping. So I will say with the Amazon, at least when you look at the product, you're not going to pay shipping on it, and you're going to pay a little bit of sales tax on it. There's usually not duties unless you're ordering cross-border stuff. eBay needs to find a way to change this if they are going to compete with Amazon, whether it's getting better deals with their shipping carriers than they already get, self-selling on eBay. Some of the shipping costs aren't as horrendous as they would be if eBay didn't have deals with the carriers, but they're still very expensive, guys, and you get charged fees on top of the shipping as well. As a seller, your prices are very inflated for shipping. For Amazon, it's all included in the FBA, so it's kind of a little different system, but the buyer experience on Amazon appears way better when you're not paying that shipping cost, guys. Facing new sellers, to me, I think Amazon has a better model than eBay, and I think this is why you've seen a lot of people migrate from eBay to Amazon. It's just a much easier process. You basically do up your labels, make your listings, you say Amazon, and then Amazon takes care of the rest and cuts you a check. Now, I know there can be warehouse fees and stuff if stuff sits too long at Amazon, which I totally understand. But if you are a big volume seller and you're selling products that move quick on Amazon, I honestly think the platform is way better. Now, I know Amazon charges large fees as well. Or on eBay, I know myself, it's getting harder and harder to justify the shipping costs to people buying things. Right now, Canada Post and USPS are pretty reasonable for shipping media and video games and small items, the stuff I sell. The larger items, though, guys, very expensive, and this is where Amazon absolutely crushes eBay, because something that might cost $30 to ship on eBay is a free ship on Amazon. Even if it costs $10 more, you're still coming out way ahead. I don't know how eBay solves this problem. Next big issue, it's the economy, stupid. The inflation has been outpacing wages many years, guys, and this is just a byproduct of that. People don't have as much money left to spend on discretionary items at the end of the month. So if you're selling in categories where it's mostly just a luxury item, and this goes for me too, you know, buying, you know, video games or DVDs or some of the new old stock that I've got, that is mostly discretionary items. So I think that's part of the reason my store has slowed down. If you were selling like toiletries, you know, health products or stuff like that, I'm sure that would still keep ticking along, but people are just not spending as much. And I'm sure it's the same probably on Amazon as well and these other platforms. I just don't think there's a lot of money circulating in the economies right now. Here in Canada, our unemployment rate is at like 7% now, really high. I'm not too sure what it is in the US. You can't just gauge it on unemployment because a lot of people have 2 and 3 jobs now. Like most people I know have a side hustle, and that's just the way it goes, guys. It's crazy now. Part of it is tariff uncertainty. You can go and talk to anybody and mention tariffs and they will go off on a tirade about it, and I don't blame them because it is getting ridiculous. We don't know what's going on from day to day. If you like certain politicians or not doesn't really matter. The countries need stability, guys. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. We need to make a choice. The US needs to make a choice, and all the other countries need to just make a choice. That really is the only way we're going to get some stabilization back in our economies. It's been a really crazy 5 months with this stuff. It really needs to end, but that is definitely a part of it. People are scared to spend their money on this stuff, guys, and these tariffs are a huge reason why. Next up, we have the outside competition from online auction sites. They have taken off in the past few years. They have really taken an identity away from eBay, because before eBay was the auction site, but eBay is no longer the auction site, guys. It hasn't been for a long time. And now the whatnots and dibdits, and I know there's more. The auction sites are taking a huge chunk out of the eBay stuff, because if you have a decent following and you can build up a following on these platforms, if you have a bunch of stuff that's not really high value and you just want to get rid of it, screw eBay, man. Put it on there, hold a couple auctions, get people buying multiple items. You can ship them all together. They can save money, you can save money, and you can sell the stuff very quickly because it will sell. You'll get rid of it. As where eBay, you list something, you might wait 6 months. I know with the cycle I'm in now, I'll have stuff that's listed over a year and it'll sell, and you know, you'll move it out, but they are sitting on it for a year, which is absolutely crazy. And a lot of people don't understand this when they see online resellers and YouTubers post, oh, this goes for this on eBay, or I sold this on eBay for this. It's like, yeah, maybe you did, and they sold it too, but it might have taken you 6 months to sell that item, right? Like, it's not an instant thing. It's just the way it goes. And the longer you sit on this stuff, there's more of a chance that it might go down in value. You just don't know, guys. So to me, the fact that eBay's gotten away from the online auctions, there's really not a big incentive to run auctions on the site now, just the way the sales structure is. You can run a 7-day auction, and if your thing doesn't sell, then you still got to pay the fees on it and stuff. It's really dumb, honestly. I don't know why they do this. Well, they wanted fixed price products to compete with Amazon. But I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the auction part of the site. One little blip in the radar here is the summer slowdown is real, guys. Always happens every year. People are on vacation. The kids are out of school for the summer. No one's really buying on eBay as much. So this is going to hurt you as a seller. It's also going to hurt the company's bottom line. But it will remain to be seen if the company rebounds from this summer slowdown. Now, I know eBay has been warning their stockholders that they are expecting pretty much the thing to slow down. I mean, it has been pretty much stagnant for 2 years. Just not a great time for some of these platforms. And I really believe eBay, by trying to compete with all these other companies doing different systems and that, it's generally hurt the site, and that's just my own opinion. Now, I know they've had steady growth, even though it's slowed down. They've had times of turmoil too, but I just think if they had kind of kept it to a used goods site than trying to focus on like the Amazon type stuff, maybe in the long run it would have helped, but I don't know. I'm not a CEO. But usually when these companies warn their stockholders that shit's going to hit the fan, I would expect shit to hit the fan, guys. So let's talk about the algorithm. They're constantly changing the search algorithm on this platform, and the algorithm itself sucks. The search sucks, guys. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the vintage toys and stuff I list, if you have one letter that's wrong or one keyword that's wrong, it won't show it up. I will Google Lens stuff and I'll basically type it out almost exactly the way it is, and it will just not show up on the eBay site. I'll get a bunch of random stuff. So I'm assuming this is everyone's user experience on this. It's just not buyer friendly. They're looking for a niche product. It's going to be very difficult for them to find it. I don't know why they keep changing this, and I really don't know why after all these years they can't build a better search engine on the site. It makes no sense to me. This should be one of their main things, especially when you're selling one-offs and that. Get your search engine in order. It's absolute dog shit, guys. It's terrible. It's my assumption that eBay is going to have a bit of a decline here for the next few years. That's just my opinion from what I see. Getting hammered from many different avenues here. The rise of online auctions. Amazon's beating the shit out of them. The high seller fees. No seller protections. Shipping fees are outrageous. A sales tax on used goods. And greed has gotten to them. They're nickel and diming their sellers, but not giving their sellers any protections. They definitely give the buyer way more protections in this case. And obviously without buyers, the site does not exist, but it's the same for the sellers. If no one's going to sell on your platform, it will not exist. They need to balance this out, guys. I say my sales are probably down about 30% from last year, and that's not horrible. I parked my store for a couple weeks here just when the Canada Post strike was going on, and I also can't predict how the end of the year is going to go here, but I don't see it getting crazy, guys. People just don't have the money. eBay's very expensive to buy on now. There's just so many factors going against it. I really do hope they turn it around. Platform forever. It does have its purpose. I just think they need to regroup, do some restructuring, and think about the long game here, not so much just the shareholders' bottom line in the now. And that's just my opinion on it. Be prepared for the summer slowdown, guys. It is yard sale season too, so stock up for your winter items. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. I will see you on the next one. Peace.